Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 6 of my Deadfire beta series. Today we're continuing to explore the largest dungeon present in the current version of the beta, the ruins of Poko Kohara, in search of a missing Vailian expedition. This is the final quest in the beta, but the associated dungeon is so large it's going to take us at least 2 or 3 episodes to finish it. So, let's get started. Our first big obstacle appears to be a tribe of Zorops, essentially the Pillars of Eternity equivalent of kobolds. We can only see 2 at the moment, but these things travel in packs, so we're going to need to be ready when more of these things come flooding onto the screen. Let's set up in our usual formation, fighters up front. And we'll have Retcon start us off by taking a quick shot at their priest. Nice. Looks like another solid hit for 59 damage. Plus, we landed both special effects. Let's keep pushing the assault here. We'll have both our frontliners come out of stealth and wade into battle. I guess we'll also queue up some ranged attacks from the rest of the party. Might as well go in heavy. Okay, we've already got reinforcements incoming, and I think the priest just popped a healing spell. Now the priest is queuing up an attack spell, so let's get our rogue closer. Shoot, our frontliners are already getting a bit overwhelmed here. Let's dole out some more status afflictions and... there's that attack spell. Let's take a few seconds to get our bearings here. That priest is casting spells a lot faster than we can keep up with. No, wait, we already killed the first priest. There are just 2 more that showed up right behind him. Okay, they're queuing up healing spells left and right, so let's bring our own priest up and put out a circle of protection. Nice. We took out one of the skirmishers. But we need to stop focusing on the skirmishers and start focusing on the priests. Both our rogue and mage have interrupt abilities, so let's start disrupting every spell they try to cast. Looks like we've got a flaming pillar incoming. Let's tag the priest with a ring the bell.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Let's also make sure no one's taken too much health damage. It actually looks like we're all doing fine right now. There goes the last of the skirmishers. Now we can have everyone focus on the priests. Let's shift our frontliners onto one of the priests, and we'll try to knock it down. Looks like we successfully interrupted that attack spell. It's got another spell queued up. I don't recognize the icon. Our rogue can't interrupt it again, but our wizard can. We'll queue up a thrust of Tattered Veils. Nice. Looks like we disrupted another spell. But now the other one's casting, so let's toss out another thrust of Tattered Veils. And one of the priests is down. We'll just have everyone dogpile on the last target. Alright, that was a pretty quick and painless fight. Let's get everyone back under stealth and check out this loot.
Leave it to me.
We just spotted something, but what was it? Normally hidden objects are highlighted in purple, so it's not that chest and it's not those barrels. I think I can actually home in on whatever he spotted by clicking on it in the text box. Oh, of course. Retcon spotted that trap. Well, let's take a look at the loot. At a glance, I'm not seeing anything particularly impressive. We got an assortment of coins, a few more Zorop tongues, and an assortment of Zorop weapons. Really, it's all just vendor trash. Maybe those containers will have something a little more exciting to offer. First, we'll take care of that trap. Looks like we found 2 pry bars and a few more coins. As for the other chest, more coins. I guess that would be a bit more exciting if this were the full campaign, but since we know this is the final quest in the beta, it's not really anything to get worked up over. Let's get back to exploring. there's plenty more treasure out there for us to find. It's going to be a bit slow going here. We don't know when we're going to run into more enemies, so I want to keep the party in stealth, but unfortunately that does mean that we're moving at about half normal speed. Hopefully we should run into something interesting soon. Ah, there we go. There's a corpse. And there's a sand blight. I know we've fought some other blights before, but I don't think we've fought any sand blights yet. More coins. We'll take them and get our guys set up for another fight. That thing is resistant to perception afflictions. That probably means we don't want to hit it with a blinding strike, but we should be able to inflict bleeding or hobbling status effects as normal. Let's get our fighters up front and we'll queue up an arterial strike. Nice. That's another solid hit, and it looks like we inflicted both status effects. Oh, that was quick. Well, let's get everyone focused on the next one. We might be able to just power our way through this fight. There we go. That's 2 down. Now let's get everyone focused on the last blight.
Not what I was intending.
Alright, that was relatively painless. Those things seem to have auras that inflict debuffs on nearby opponents.
Yes?
It probably helped that we had a lot of ranged fighters. Primal Wind, Scoria. I think those are all crafting ingredients, so nothing we can really use. Oh, there's another hidden loot stash. Let's go check that out.
Give me a ring.
Valoon and Pyrite. Those are both gemstones. Again, I think they're both crafting ingredients, but they're also basic loot items with halfway decent resale value. Let's take a quick peek at our map. So far we've discovered the Zorup camp, the Oasis, and the Obelisk. But what we haven't discovered is the expedition camp or any way inside the ruins. So let's keep looking. I find it oddly satisfying to methodically reveal all of the areas on a map while I'm exploring. No stone unturned, no corpse unlooted. There's another skeleton, but not one we can interact with. There's another mostly buried skeleton right past it. Oh, and another corpse that looks much more promising. Let's go take a look at that. Oh, we're getting a vision. Sometimes I forget you're playing as the Watcher. Wait! No, you fool. Don't crouch there. That's where you die. Up, up! It's coming! I'm sorry. Aprataz, inside! And thus, he died. I would scream, but I don't think I'm physically capable of it. Alright, well, obviously something big and nasty crushed this poor man to death. But at least he left behind a blunderbuss and a handful of coins. We'll just hold on to those. Based on the vision we just had, there must be 3 more expedition members, and they headed that way, which must be the entrance to the ruins. That means we're headed in the opposite direction for now. Oh, there's another skeleton.
Consider it done.
That gets us some more coins, and it looks like a dead end over here, so let's double back and head northwest. Looks like the path branches here. Let's check the southern path first. Ooh, this little side area here looks like the perfect place for a hidden item. but we're not seeing anything. Oh well. Let's head back to the west.
This isn't how I usually work.
There's the base of some sort of ruined tower. That flag next to it was probably left by the Vailian expedition. There's another flag on the other side of this... What is this, quicksand? Wait a minute. Ah, enemies buried under the sand. Classic. Okay, they're about to spot us, so let's get ready for combat. No time. Everyone, attack! Let's use escape to get Retcon to the back line.
Take him down.
And we'll have the priest queue up a quick circle of protection.
Show him how it's done!
We need to make sure our fighters are up front, and let's get our usual wall of tentacles in place. That spell is pretty invaluable for crowd control.
Death to our enemy!
Okay, we've killed our first sand grub. Let's shift our focus to the next target in line. These things keep pelting us with ranged attacks. Let's see if we can blind a few of them. Though, we'll have Retcon toss out an arterial strike instead. It's a bit more cost-effective. Okay, the tentacles just crushed another sand grub. Let's get our guys focused on the next target. These guys are emitting something called a slog zone. I guess that's exactly what it sounds like. Our guys are moving pretty slowly. Let's just get some more spells out there. We don't need anything fancy. We'll just toss out some magic missiles. And that got the job done. Let's get everyone focused on this sand grub. Oh, there we go. And everyone dogpile on the last target. Nice. That was pretty easy, but looking at the numbers here, they actually got halfway towards killing our priest. Things can spiral out of control pretty quickly in this game.
Why not?
Looks like we got an emerald and a bunch of larvae for our trouble.
Sure.
I guess we'll take it, though, again, it's nothing we can really use. And back to exploring. There's a point of interest ahead of us. We'll take a quick peek at that. A statue appears to have toppled here, worn and pitted by wind and sand. Okay. Let's keep moving south. But that's the obelisk just ahead of us, so we've circled back to where we've started at this point. Let's start heading back towards the northwest corner of the map. There's another ruined tower, and an expedition flag. Ah, and that's where we came in. That means it's time to start heading north. There's a map exit. Ooh, and a skeleton.
Got it.
Looks like a rod and more coins.
The better part of valor.
The better part of valor, huh? I guess we turned into Khalid for a second there. Ah, and that would be the Vailian camp. Of course it's in the last place we looked. We're obviously going to check out that ominous glowing orb, but first let's take a quick look at our journal. An expedition from the Vailian Trading Company abandoned their camp here. Everything appears to be intact. We should not have left Vektor with those Huana. Then swim back to Tikawara. We will take your share. Vailians, living up to the stereotype, I see.
Give me a real challenge.
You find a rolled-up map inside the satchel. It shows a course plotted from Tikawara,
I got this.
an island to the west. The sparsely furnished tent stinks of spoiled rations. The tent is empty, but for a stack of excavation tools.
I've got it.
Shovels, spades, and brushes, half buried in the sand.
Watch it.
We've also got another pry bar and a few more coins,
Consider it done.
as well as repair supplies and lager. Good to know their priorities were in the right place. We've also got some sort of pit over there. This weathered stone well seems fairly old, though you see fresh signs of excavation in the sand around it. A rope dangles over the side, trailing down into the darkness. That's not ominous or anything. Let's see how deep it is. After a few seconds, there's a splash. Okay, let's pull up the rope. Hoisting the rope is surprisingly easy. The reason for that soon becomes clear. Nothing is attached to the frayed end of the rope. Okay, let's send someone down the rope. It's probably dark down there, so I think Retcon is our best bet with his 20 perception. Yeah, we'll leave this to the professional scout. You take a firm grip on the rope and make your way down. It's not long before the dark surface of the water becomes visible below. The end of the rope dangles just above the water. You spot a patch of burlap against the muck and stone. An old sack appears to have been lost, or hidden, in a crack in the wall. Unfortunately, the sack is out of arm's reach, and the material looks worn thin. It might be possible to swing over and grab the sack, but any blunder is likely to snag it on the stone. This requires athletics, which is not Retcon's forte. I think this is a task better suited to Retcon's twin brother, Mercenary Fighter. We'll climb back out of the well and send him in instead. Yeah, he's the only party member with any significant athletics training. The game doesn't really encourage you to double up on skills. Okay, let's swing over there and grab the loot. Mercenary Fighter kicks back and forth. The smooth, deft motion brings Mercenary Fighter closer and closer to the wall, until the sack is finally in reach. Grab it. As the sack comes free, it snags on the stone and rips open. Glittering gems spill from the tear as the rope swings in its smooth, steady arc. A quick grab could save the falling gems, but the sack still feels heavy with treasure. That's unfortunate. Let's go for the treasure. Mercenary Fighter holds the rope and torn sack with one hand and deftly catches the falling gems with the other. Alright. That nets us a whole slew of gems, 8 aquamarines, 3 garnets, and an emerald. Relatively useless in the beta, but definitely a nice find in the full campaign. I think that's just about everything there is to see in the exterior of the ruins. Let's poke around in this last little corner here. And I think it's time to head over to the entrance. We know there are no enemies between us and the entrance, so let's drop stealth for the moment.
Let's keep quiet.
And back into stealth. There's probably a tough fight waiting for us at the top of those stairs. Oh dear. Well, let's get ourselves into a combat formation here. That thing is resistant to dexterity and strength afflictions, and immune to resolve afflictions. I think that means we can still hit it with bleeding wounds. I'm fairly certain that bleeding is considered a constitution affliction, but I could be wrong. Still, it's worth queuing up a quick arterial strike just in case. Even if this doesn't cause the hobbling or bleeding effect, it should still do some pretty significant damage. Of course, we'll also want to get our fighters up front before we actually take that shot. Looks like we landed a solid crit. Now we can start casting Circle of Protection. And we might as well queue up Wounding Shot while we're at it. That way we can stack some more bleeding damage on our target. Let's bring Fighter and Raider in there to keep it bottlenecked on the staircase. And I guess we'll try to knock it prone, but I'm guessing it's probably immune to that. I think I forgot to actually start casting Circle of Protection. And let's get a wall of tentacles up while we're at it. Our frontliners don't actually seem to be attacking it. I think they're actually stuck in stealth. The statue's not attacking them either. Okay, there we go. Now we've got a fight, but... no, it's... Our frontliners are attacking it now, but it's still not fighting back. I guess we'll keep wailing on it, but it seems pretty obvious that something's gone wrong with the statue's AI. Looks like we actually succeeded at hobbling it that time. I guess it's just resistant to the effect, not actually immune. And that's it. The writhing tentacles tear down the Engwithan Titan. I'll admit, I feel a little cheated. Oh, but we do have this random scarab beetle off to the side here. Maybe he'll put up more of a fight.
Take him down.
It's not working.
We took the beetle down pretty fast, but it did actually do a lot of damage to our rogue. Well, let's check out the loot. We've got Adraban, Living Steel, Jade, Living Iron, and Binding Copper. I'm guessing that's more crafting supplies. It sounds like the sort of thing you'd use to make enchanted equipment. Okay, I think we're done out here, so let's gather our party and venture forth. The patina over this entrance tells of age and long exposure. In spite of its degradation, the copper door is as heavy and densely forged as a vault. Gravity firmly holds the slab against stone. Okay, let's take a closer look at the door. Old markings in the shape of fingers suggest the Engwithan Titans once possessed the strength to raise the door. It's difficult to tell from here if anything else once controlled the door's opening or closing. You find a hole in the surrounding stone which bears the same spiral shell pattern as the key you acquired in Tikawara. You also take note of scour marks at the base of the door, likely evidence of a pry bar used to wedge it open. The damage to the stone looks recent. If anyone made it inside, the door has long since closed behind them. Well, I think we're obviously supposed to use that key. After you dust away some of the sand blocking the hole, the Muzumu shell fits perfectly. You turn the shell to the right. The resistance it encounters quickly gives way to the sound of gears turning behind the stone. The door slowly rises. The opening discharges a breeze of stale air and something else, a feeling which emanates from the yawning darkness that makes your every hair stand on end. Alright, here we are on the first level of the dungeon. There's a decent number of fights and a whole lot of traps ahead of us, so let's start looking around. There's the top of the luminous Adra pillar we've heard about. That's where the Vailian expedition was headed. A thin layer of sand and dust has settled upon these crates. We've also got some loot. A potion of elemental defense, a potion of deafness, and some fine Ediran mead. We'll grab all of it. And there's a pickaxe and another pry bar. How many pry bars could one expedition party need? Let's keep moving. Looks like we have to go left or right. We'll probably take a left, but there is a lootable corpse to the right. Striding alongside the Engwithan figures depicted on this mural, you notice what appear to be Huana. Intriguing. Well, let's check out the left path first. And we've already spotted a trap. Oh, there's another trap. In fact, yeah, I think all of these odd little speckled floor panels are going to be traps. Okay. I think they may have overdone it a little bit. Let's pull our party back before we step on any of these. We'll single out our scout and have him start disarming them one by one. There we go. That's a caltrops trap and 115 experience points. Not bad. Alright, let's take a moment to disarm all of these traps. Then we can bring the rest of the party into the room. We've also got a couple of lootable containers, so let's take a look at those real quick. We've got some Spire Sponge. That's disappointing. Oh, and we just spotted a hidden stash clear across the room. That's our 20 points in perception at work. You can actually see they positioned that skeleton as if it were reaching for the stash. That's a nice touch. Now let's clear the rest of these traps. It is a bit tedious, but disarming all of these traps is going to get me over 1,000 experience points. More importantly, it also helps us avoid a bunch of unnecessary injuries. Traps and Pillars of Eternity don't just do health damage, they can also inflict the same serious injuries you can suffer in combat. And if you get too many serious injuries on a single character, they're dead. The mural depicts Huana and Engwithan figures, gathered before a blue flame. Ooh, and the hidden object was a trigger for a secret door. Nice. Let's regroup with the rest of the party, then we'll go check out that hidden room.
Ready when you are. Can do.
Looks like a treasure room. That's definitely a nice find. The crocodilian idol is unfamiliar to you. Huana carvings along the offering bowl suggest it was once revered. Okay, let's take a look at the chest. Engwithan bracers. Resistance to dexterity afflictions. And a piece of onyx. That's another basic crafting ingredient. Let's take a quick look at those bracers. Actually, give me a second to rearrange our inventory real quick. Engwithan bracers. It's hard to tell if it was made from petrified wood, or being inside the arid dungeon has petrified it over time. Interesting. Well, we're obviously not going to put it on Retcon or our warrior, so that means it's going on one of our other, squishier characters. Yeah, our fighter's current bracers are much better suited for him. I guess we'll slap it on our rogue since she needs to remain mobile in battle.
Just say the word.
Oh, right, and there's a bottle over there. Full of ancient grog, apparently.
I'm on it.
Okay, let's get back to exploring. We could take that doorway leading into the room with the smaller crystal, but I'm pretty sure we can reach that room from the other side as well, so we might as well be thorough and check both paths. We never did look at that body.
I got it.
There's a handful of shells. That's basically more coins. Hold up. It says we spotted a scarab beetle, but we can't actually see it yet. Ah, well, now we can see plenty of enemies. We're up against 2 luminous revenants and 2 scarab beetles. And there's another revenant. This is a pretty standard fight. The revenants are obviously their frontliners, and the scarabs will hang back and pelt us with ranged attacks. Oh, shoot. They're about to spot our fighter, so let's get started. We'll have Retcon queue up a quick arterial strike. Not bad. There's a solid 70 damage critical hit and a partial hit on the afflictions. Let's queue up a blinding strike on one of the scarab beetles and get the rest of our party ready for combat. Our frontliners can wade into battle. We'll also bring up the rest of our ranged fighters to focus fire. Mercenary Wizard will summon up the usual batch of writhing tentacles. And I must have misclicked or something, because our fighter is way out of position.
Ready when you are.
Well, I guess he's fine where he is. He'll just keep both of these enemies locked down.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Over here, we've got this scarab beetle wandering right around our lines. That's annoying. I guess we'll toss up a circle of protection, just to be on the safe side. Let's have our ranged fighters focus fire on the scarab as well. The sooner we can get it off our back lines, the better. We'll have Retcon queue up another arterial strike, and our rogue will try to blind it. Okay, it's blinded. And, whoa, okay. It just sent our priest flying. Unfortunately, it looks like that disrupted his spell, so he'll do something else. Raider's still doing pretty well against those luminous revenants. Looks like fighter's doing okay too.
Take him down.
We've got the tentacles up, so let's get all of our ranged fighters focused on that scarab.
You better run!
There we go. Now we can get them all focused on that luminous revenant that Raider is fighting. Nice. Now we'll focus on the next luminous revenant.
See every day.
And now we'll dogpile on the beetle.
Death to our enemy. I was intending. It's not working. That's how it's done.
Okay, let's check out the loot.
I've got it.
Luminous Adra dust, vessel bones, and vessel flesh. Delicious.
Why not?
Cooler air wafts up from the fissure in the floor.
Watch and learn.
The outer wall of this room seems to have buckled inward under a tide of sand and rubble.
They'll never know I'm here.
I've got it.
There's some more vessel flesh. And there's some sort of debris pile ahead. Oh? Well, we just spotted more beetles. I'm guessing they're on the other side of this wall here.
Consider it done.
The debris's got some scoria in it. I believe that is another crafting ingredient. Now let's see if we can figure out where those beetles are. There's a door. There's a skeleton we can loot. I guess the beetles must actually be on the other side of a solid wall. Well, this is just a beta. That's a whole lot of lore information about the setting. If it were a journal or an interesting short story, we'd give it a read through, but we'll skip on the in-depth analysis of the game's calendar system. Alright, let's crack that door and check the next room. Looks clear. And it does appear both routes led to the same destination. You pushed her. Merla, she came after me. Silicio, the priestess superstition got into your heads. I'm starting to get the distinct impression that we're not going to find a lot of these expedition members alive. Okay, we've almost reached the giant luminous Adra pillar. We'll get to the end of the level here and then we'll call it an episode. But we do know we have at least one more fight ahead of us.
Watch and learn.
The brazier's roiling flames give off intense light, but no heat. Oh, and there's those beetles we spotted earlier.
I wonder what this is.
We also just detected a hidden object. I think it's a trap, but I'm pretty sure it's underneath that beetle there. Okay, well, let's get our guys into combat formation. Fighters up front, everyone else in back. Let's queue up an arterial strike and target one of the larger beetles. There's another solid hit with side effects. Let's get our fighters in there.
Should have run.
Now let's get our other ranged fighters in the mix. It looks like our wizard is actually already casting the tentacle spell. Interesting. I thought I disabled the AI. Well, it's fine, I guess. We'll also put up a circle of protection.
Show him how it's done.
Missed.
There goes the first beetle. Let's move on to the next. Whoa, hold on a second. Raider's almost dead. Let's pull him back and hit him with a couple of healing spells.
Let's go.
There we go. That should keep him alive a little longer.
After 'em.
Now let's queue up some more special attacks. Whoops, and our fighter just went flying. Wow, he's already down a third of his health. I guess he's fine for now. Let's get him back in there. But I do think we'll move our priest up and have him drop a quick area heal. That should help keep everyone alive. Man, these things are actually pretty tough.
Onward. This weapon's no good to me. Attack.
Okay, that's 2 down. Oh, and that's 3 down.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Alright, let's gang up on the last one.
Something else. Onward.
You know, I don't think our wizard ever finished casting that tentacle spell. That would have probably made this a lot easier.
Why not?
There's some bug parts. Some more bug parts. And I guess that's it.
Be right there.
Oh, and there's a trap.
Got this. I got
I wonder if that's what we spotted earlier. Oh, I see. We must have spotted the secret cache before we spotted the trap, which messed up the visuals. And let's continue on to the pillar. We're probably pretty close to wrapping up at this point. A pillar of Adra descends through the ruins. I found the top, but I'll have to journey below to see the rest.
Why not?
Lights and shapes seem to stir just beneath the surface of the Adra, rippling past in irregular motions. Okay, let's walk a quick perimeter around the room. We can already see a bottle over there. Oh, and a mural we can look at. Huana figures prostrate themselves before a blue flame. I see.
Give me a read.
And we've got a couple of scrolls here. Well, I don't think we need them, but we'll certainly take them. And there's the stairway to the next level. I think this brings us to a pretty good stopping point, so we'll pick up here next time as we delve deeper into the ruins of Poko Kohara in search of the almost certainly doomed Vailian expedition. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, or the original crowdfunding campaign page over on Fig. Links are in the description.